Hello, my name is Carson and I made this video for you. Now, I'm asking you to complain more. I'm asking you that complaining is a positive thing and not a bad thing. I realize it's a very radical claim to make, but I intend to back it up. So, ever since when you hear the advice that a successful man or woman doesn't complain, a successful man sees the positive thing in everything he does, even failures, and he does not complain to people, to himself, never. It made a lot of sense to me. I thought, what a good idea. I'm on the bed. It's 11:52 and I just woke up. I'm not actually up because I like to stay in my bed for at least 20 minutes after I wake up, but back to the topic. That's why I'm on the bed. Complaining. I promised to myself I am never going to complain. Some other smart ass told me that complaining is like drinking poison. You don't actually feel better after complaining because you're just inviting more pain to yourself. And I thought, yeah, pretty much. I don't actually feel better after I complain. So I stopped complaining. But as time goes on, I find that I become more and more stifled. It's like some kind of weight is pressing down my shoulder and it's growing more and more. I don't feel as good as I did anymore, like a kid. Remember when we were children? We would just go with our emotions wherever it takes us. When our toys are taken away, while we have to go to bed, we lash out, we cry, we beg that we stay up for a bit. And when we're happy, we don't hide it either. If we have a birthday party, we're gonna jump around unless you're me, because I'm traumatized from a young age and I can't express my emotion until recently. Unfortunate. But we deal with the card we play with. Anyways, I stopped complaining. But I didn't actually become happier. And that's when I realized, what if we're not that enlightened? What if we are supposed to complain and feel sad, and we're supposed to give ourselves the right to be sad when we are sad, instead of taking every failure into a positive, instead of convincing ourselves that everything's gonna work out. Yeah, logically we can bullshit ourselves to say, this failure is gonna make me stronger. I got rejected by this girl, and that's gonna train my, mental resistance, right? It kills our ego so that we're more natural, so that we're in tune with reality. But logically we understand something, but our body doesn't. It might be a confusing thing to say, but you get what I'm saying, right? Sometimes your dad or your teacher tells you something really smart, and you think, okay, I understand it now. You write it in your notebook. You can even memorize it, such as, well, don't make jokes that insult people, right? But your body hasn't understood it, and you eventually did make a joke that insults people. And you thought, didn't I learn this from my teacher a month ago? Why did I do this exact same thing that she tells us not to do? And that's when you realize being aware of something isn't understanding it. Understanding something means you have it in your experience. So after I stopped complaining for a while, I find that it doesn't make sense. It's painful. When I have junk, I'm not gonna throw it on the floor, but when I see a trash can, I'll throw away my junk. But some guy, some smart people comes over and tells you, hey, if you have junk in your pocket, you can't ever throw them away. You need to keep them in your pocket until it gets full, and when it gets full, you just need to add more junk into it. And does that make sense to you? Junk is supposed to be thrown away. We are supposed to be sad. We are supposed to have negative emotions once in a while. And if you don't release it, if you try to turn into positive, which your body doesn't agree, it doesn't think that something is positive just because you make some weird logic that failures is actually success. So I complained. Not throwing trash on the floor, of course. I don't just go on the street and lash out. I don't just tell my friends how horrible my day was. I did so in my head. I complained to me. Because one thing I didn't realize is that I'm always supposed to have a freedom of thinking. In our head is a totally unregulated space. We are free to think whatever we want, but now, because of some knowledge we can't quite comprehend, like don't complain, we limit the freedom to think negative thoughts. And when negative thoughts eventually come up, we repress it. We disapprove of it. We say, you're not my thought. Get out of here. You know what happened to Frankenstein's monster? Frankenstein ignored his monster. He tries to run away. So the monster grows stronger and stronger and eventually ruins his life. If Frankenstein actually had the time to turn back and acknowledge the monster, take care of the problem he created, take care of his negative impact on the world, take care of your negative emotions, he would have had a happy life. The monster could have had a happy life. This old story, when I read it again, after I complained and I didn't complain and I complained again, showed me the way. That just because something is bad, it's still a part of you and you cannot disown it. You will be complaining every day, at least twice, which is what I do, sometimes more. And also, complaining to friends isn't such a bad thing. It shows that you are an authentic human. If you're always positive, you're always telling them good things, when they ask how are you, always say good, they're gonna know that you're lying. They're gonna know that you don't want to be authentic. Because who has a good day all the time? It's just maybe just a lie we tell to strangers to be socially appropriate. But to your closer friend, I challenge you. When you have a bad day and they ask you how your day was, say you had a bad day. I had a horrible day, man. Which is exactly what I did a day ago in my little group. I said, well, I had a horrible day. And they said, whoa, what happened? They were totally not expecting someone to just pop it out. It's actually kind of interesting. And so I went on with my story. Well, yesterday I spent 6 hours in the library working on one essay. And in the end, I didn't finish it. I spent another extra hour today, and I have more essay to write about. After that, we're all just laughing and having fun. Because I acknowledge that writing an essay for 6 hours is something horrible. I don't want to do it. It might be positive, but I don't care. My gut tells me it isn't a bad thing. It pains me that we've lost the ability to know what's bad and what's good. When something is bad, I just challenge and train myself to say, okay, it is bad. I'm going to acknowledge it. When I have a bad day, I'm going to say some pretty negative thing in my head. I'm calling myself a loser even, because sometimes feel like a loser. Sometimes I feel winning. But when I do feel like a loser, I don't convince myself I'm a winner. Say, okay, you are a loser. You are losing in some aspect. And then, after my mind accepts that fact, I think, so what? So I'm a loser, but I'm still pretty happy. because I'm honest to myself, because I don't lie to myself that I'm a winner on all aspects, and because I'm able to be real to myself, because my mind knows that I'm always honest, that when I have junk, I dump them, when I have victory, I celebrate them. My mind trusts me, my mind respects me, because I really think that your mind is a separate entity. You're not one, but multiple, right? The ego, the self-esteem, whatever. I'm not too good with that. So I urge you to be real with your emotions. If that means complaining, do it. Do some of your messed up complaining, do it in your head. Some of the more fun complaining, you can do it to your friends and families and share a good laugh with them. And if not, they can heal your wound together for you. Because if you aren't authentic, well, there isn't a lot of ways to get to you, isn't there? That'll be it.